Alright, let's talk about the Monkey King, the myth, the legend, Sun Wukong. The Monkey King is one of the most iconic figures in Chinese mythology, first appearing in Journey to the West. His mischievous nature, godlike powers, and rebellious spirit make him the perfect character for video games. But what's fascinating is how different games have reimagined him. Let's check out some of the most memorable Wukong appearances. Let's kick things off with Wukong in League of Legends, where the Monkey King is a master of deception and chaos on the battlefield. He's all about outsmarting his opponents and using his martial prowess to turn fights in his favor. His abilities reflect his strength and cunning, from powerful staff strikes that weaken his enemies to creating decoys that confuse and mislead opponents. Next, let's jump over to Smite. Sun Wukong in Smite is the ultimate adaptable warrior. His powerful staff grows to strike enemies in front of him, making him a threat in any fight. He can also slow down enemies with a quick strike, keeping them from escaping. But the real fun begins with his transformations. He can become an eagle for speed, a tiger to stun enemies, or an ox to charge right through them, dealing damage along the way. And if things get tough, Wukong has a trick up his sleeve. He leaps onto his cloud, becoming invisible and healing up while a pet fights in his place. It's a perfect mix of cunning and power, letting him control the battlefield while staying true to his mischievous nature. Moving ahead, we have Raid Shadow Legends, where Sun Wukong brings his legendary trickery to the battlefield. Known for disrupting his enemies, he can stun opponents, tear through their defenses, and even leave them powerless with his debuffs. He steals buffs and prevents new ones, making him a major threat to any lineup. Next up is Wukong from Warframe. Warframe takes Sun Wukong and propels him into the far future. Here, Wukong is a Warframe, a biomechanical warrior packing a different kind of magic. His abilities mirror his mythological roots though, especially his ability to summon a clone to fight alongside him. He also transforms into a cloud, slipping through enemies and healing himself. Wukong can become invulnerable, storing up damage to release in a powerful strike, and when it's time to unleash his true power, he summons his iconic staff to deal devastating blows. Now, here's an interesting twist. Enslaved Odyssey to the West reimagines the classic Journey to the West story, and instead of Sun Wukong, we get Monkey, a post-apocalyptic take on the legendary hero. Here, Wukong's magic is replaced with raw survival instincts, but you can still see the influence of the legend in his athleticism, combat style, and of course his ever-reliable staff. What's cool about Enslaved is how it explores Wukong's rebellious spirit in a world that's crumbling. He's still breaking free of control, but instead of fighting gods, he's up against machines and a ruined society. It's a unique take on the Monkey King's journey, blending myth with a gritty, futuristic world. Moving on to Dota 2, the Monkey King is always in search of a good fight and uses his agility to dance through the battlefield, jumping from tree to tree and springing out to surprise his enemies. From the shadows of the forest, he waits for the perfect moment to leap down, striking and slowing anyone caught in his path. With every hit, Monkey King builds up energy, gaining bonus strength and healing himself as he fights. When the battle intensifies, he can change his form, using the environment to deceive his enemies and dodge attacks. And in the heat of battle, Monkey King calls upon an army of soldiers, each one as strong as himself, to surround and overwhelm his opponents. With his legendary staff, he slams down hard on any chance of escape, reveling in the chaos of the fight as he shows his mastery of the battlefield. Finally, we have the game that's taken the world by storm, Black Myth Wukong. This is probably the truest adaptation of Sun Wukong's original story we've ever seen in gaming. The game takes you straight into Wukong's legendary journey, facing off against mythological creatures, demons and gods. His combat here is intense, his staff can shapeshift, his speed and agility are unreal, and the sheer scale of the enemies he fights. It's like you're reliving Journey to the West in a way that's never been done before. What makes Black Myth Wukong stand out is how it balances Wukong's godly powers with the weight of his struggles. You get the sense that you're playing through a legend. The stakes are high, the visuals are breathtaking, and Wukong's iconic character comes through in every moment. The developers have really captured the myth in its purest form. And there you have it. Let me know in the comments which version of the Monkey King you like the most. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe the channel.